Hi friends, Miss Janet here from Alexander Hamilton Memorial Free Library. I work in the children's department, and every Monday we try to select a book that we hope you enjoy and give you a taste of the book by reading the first chapter or so. And so this day I would like to share with you Play to the Angel. And this book can be found in our children's fiction department, and it is written by Maureen Dahlberg. This particular story was written it takes place February 1938. And it's about a 12-year-old girl by the name of Greta Radke. And she learns that her mother plans to sell their piano. And of course, Greta is devastated. Greta, stop that noise. My fingers sprang away from the piano as though the keys had turned red hot. I'm sorry, Muti. You were fast asleep, and I thought if I closed your bedroom door, the music wouldn't bother you. My mother's face was white and pinched, the way it always was when she had one of her headaches. Her thick chestnut hair, usually in glossy braids, wound around her head, hung in dull tangles down the back of her pink dressing gown. She snatched up my precious book of Scarlatti sonatas. This has your brother's name on the cover. Did you bring it down from the attic? Mm-hmm. I brought down some pieces I want to play. I don't have much music of my own. Moody frowned. I hope you remember to close the trunk afterwards. You know how the attic roof leaks. I don't want Kirk's music getting wet and moldy. Yes, Mooty. Then you shouldn't have to put it in the attic, I wanted to say, but I didn't dare, especially when Moody was already ill. Moody's face relaxed a little, and she patted my shoulder. I shouldn't have snapped at you. It's just that I'd finally gone to sleep, and then you started banging around on the piano. Banging around? Those words stung. Still, maybe if you had a headache, even good piano playing would sound like banging around, I thought. And I knew I'd sounded good, maybe not as good as Kurt, my brother, would have, but good. In my mind, I had been playing on stage at Vienna's beautiful Golden Concert Hall. The audience had been gasping over my spirited interpretation and my delicate touch. Such talent, people had whispered as they applauded in my mind. Now I was no longer a svelte, poised performer with thousands of fans, but just a slightly chubby 12-year-old with long blonde braids and a secret dream. Moody groaned. Look at the time! I'm supposed to go to Von Pritten's for a bridge game tonight. I can't go, of course. My head is throbbing, and besides, it's supposed to snow. Radio Vienna said it will snow all evening, I said happily. It may even be our biggest snowfall of 1938. Oh, I hate snow, Moody growled. I looked at her in astonishment. She had always loved snow. Well, last winter she and I had helped Kurt build a snow goose. Everyone makes snowmen, he had said. Let's make a snow goose. And we did, a glorious goose, legless, and built squat on the ground with a long neck and little button eyes. Kurt and I sat on its back while Moody, pink-cheeked and nearly doubled over with laughter, took our snapshots. How different she looked now, tired, ill, clutching her head with both hands as she thought. I'm sure Hildy can fill in for me, but our telephone is still out of order. Would you run and ask her? I nodded. I liked Frau Vogel. She was a lot older than my mother and had been widowed in the Great War long before I was born. She was Moody's closest friend. Moody had told her all her troubles and often asked her advice. Well, that had once seemed funny to me because Frau Vogel could be a little scatterbrained. But I'd learned that she was also quite sensible in her own way and was kind of like a mother to my mother. Then, Moody continued, go tell Issel that I'm sick and that Hildy will make up for the fourth. Or if she can't, do it. Try Issel and try Lily Neff. You can stay at the Von Prettons and play with Elizabeth if you'd like. No, I'll come straight home. Moody thought mean, prissy Elizabeth and I should be friends because she and Von Pretton were. Thank you, Moody said, as she started back to her bedroom, then turned. She looked over the piano in the same slow, calculating way I'd seen her study the cabbages in the marketplace. Ilse was saying last week that she and Joseph would like Elizabeth to take piano lessons. I wonder whether they would like to buy a piano. Buy a piano? Buy a piano? The words echoed in my mind. I felt as if someone were sitting on my chest. I began to shake all over. From a long way off, I heard my voice say, "You can't sell my piano. You mean our piano?" Moody's words were quiet but firm. A baby grand piano is a big extravagance. I'm still paying off Kirk's medical bills, and sales at the dress shop have fallen off. Herr Rosenwald doesn't think he can give me a raise this year, even though he is promoting me to designer. Only wealthy people can afford to have dresses made these days. Besides, the piano takes up too much room. I should have sold it last spring after Kurt died, but I couldn't bear to have people traipsing through the apartment to see it. Oh, don't frown so. We'll get a cheaper piano, maybe a nice used upright. But I need a good piano. If money's the problem, I can work several evenings a week. I can sweep floors or teach music or tutor children. Whatever I have to do, then we can keep the piano and I can take piano lessons. But Moody was shaking her head wearily. You have to study in the evenings. You don't want to fall behind in your schoolwork, do you? But my grades are all A's and B's now, and if I'm going to be a concert pianist, I need... Greta, I know you enjoy playing the piano, and you are good at it, but you don't have to try to be a concert pianist just because Kurt was. It's not because Kurt was, I cried. Muti flinched and put her hand to her head. Do keep your voice down. You have no idea how it makes my head pound. I'm going to take another headache powder and go back to bed. Thank you for going to Hildy's and Ilse's. I heard her bare feet pad down the hallway to her room. I stared at my lap, seeing my red and blue plaid school jumper through a blur of tears. How could I make her understand playing the piano wasn't just something I enjoyed, and I didn't do it to be like Kirk. I did it because it satisfied something inside me, the way a bowl of hot soup satisfied my stomach or a breath of fresh air satisfied my lungs. But the something it satisfied was deeper than my stomach or my lungs. It was a part of me that made me me. Well, my friends, if you think that this is a story that you would like to read and find out what happens to Greta's piano, then please pick up the book in the children's department under fiction at the Alexander Hamilton Memorial Free Library. And so until next time, I hope you have a wonderful Monday. Bye-bye.